Okay, so now it is time to start this orientation session. And yeah, I would just like to welcome you all and thank you for joining us today. The orientation session to the Generation Global SDG Dialogue Series will begin shortly. But before we start, I just wanted to share with you some housekeeping rules that we're going to use today. So this orientation session is hosted in webinar format. In other words, it's not a video conference. Now, what does this mean? Well, firstly, you do not need to introduce yourself. Secondly, you do not keep your video unmuted and you will not be able to use the chat function. You can use the question and answer box to ask questions as we go along this presentation. And if you're joining us from YouTube today, you can add a comment there. Now, a recording of the slides of this webinar will be shared with you after the orientation session. So please do not worry if you can't remember everything that I'm saying here today. Okay, with that being said, let's get started. So welcome to the SDG Dialogue Series. Thank you for joining us for this exciting initiative of Generation Global, where young people aged 13 to 17 will use the skills of dialogue to connect, to learn, and to share about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Now, as I'm sure some of you may already be aware, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are a blueprint with specific targets for solving the world's foremost challenges and are a part of the 2030 Agenda. The 2030 Agenda means that the United Nations and participating countries have agreed to try to meet the targets set for each goal by the year 2030. So in other words, this means that we now have less than 10 years to solve these issues. Now, there are 17 goals in total that are connected to each other, and they're all aimed at collectively addressing poverty, climate change, inequality, health, and international cooperation. Reaching all of these targets is a big job, so everyone has to work together if they are to be achieved. Now, it is essential that youth voices like your own, that your ideas and your actions are included in addressing these challenges as well. Now, before we dive into this series and learn about how to participate, I thought we could just take a moment to understand why the SDG series or why the SDGs are important to you. There might be many different reasons for why you have decided to join Generation Global and your peers today in dialoguing about these important issues. Perhaps some of you are already youth advocates in your own communities, or maybe this is your first time engaging with the Agenda 2030 and the SDGs. I thought you could complete this quick poll to see, so we can all see some of the reasons why we have all come together from different parts of the world today to participate in the SDG Dialogue Series. So here comes a poll. Please select the answer that most closely applies to you. So I hope you can see on your screens that the question we're asking is, why have you joined the SDG series? Oh, great. I see some votes coming in here. Wow. So I think what's interesting, what I'm seeing here as your votes are coming in, is that people have really joined for a great variety of reasons. I see that many of you want to practice your dialogue skills and become a better communicator. I see that some of you already are advocates in your communities, and so you want to share your experiences with other peers. I see that many of you, some of you also here, don't know so much about the SDGs yet, but you find it interesting and you want to find out more. Overall, I think it's great to see all the diversity, all the diverse reasons why we're brought here together. And I think we can all learn from each other throughout the next coming 4 weeks. So moving on. Well, like I said, it's great to see so many passionate young people participating here today. This series is aimed to provide you with knowledge about 4 select SDGs, as you can see on the picture here. So we're going to focus on good health, the future of work, rights and inequality, and climate change. You'll also learn about the experiences and challenges surrounding these SDGs from your peers, by using the skills of dialogue to help prepare you to work with others and find ways to address these challenges in your lives and your own communities. The following slides that we're going to go through will take you through what you can expect from the series in the month of July. Now, there's no need for you to take many notes, as this presentation will be shared with you after today's orientation session. So again, if you don't remember everything I'm about to say, don't panic and just wait for an email from us with all the information I'm about to go through. So, starting with the SDG Dialogue Series schedule. Each week, you will be completing a series of exercises and activities that should be both fun and informative. There'll be the same format for each SDG topic, and the series is spread over a 4-week period, starting on the 4th of July and ending on the 31st of July. And like I've already mentioned, each week will cover a different SDG. So if we start by looking at week 1, between the 4th of July and the 10th of July, you'll see that we'll focus on good health and well-being. The second week, July 11th to 17th, will focus on decent work and economic growth. July 18th to 24th, or week 3, will focus on reduced inequalities. And in week 4, stretching between July 25th and 31st, we will focus on climate action. Now, you have the option to choose which topics you wanted to do from the event codes that you've already entered. So please take a note of which topics you chose and follow the instructions for each topic accordingly when you receive notifications from us. Now, if you want to sign up to do more topics, then please go ahead and do so and just add the relevant event codes on your profile. We have a support article for you on how to do this. And if you need any further help, always just email us and we'll help you as needed. So, as I mentioned, each week, every week, there'll be a series of fun and informative activities for you on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure for you to complete. The Ultimate Dialogue Adventure is the interactive platform that leads young people through a game to learn about the skills of intercultural dialogue and to participate in forums focused on a variety of global topics and issues. The format will remain the same for every SDG, and we'll take you through each of the 4 steps in the following slides on this call. But in summary, for activity 1, you will start by reading a short briefing to familiarize yourself with SDG, statistics, and various challenges. This part should take you about 15 minutes. This is followed by activity 2, which is completing an online topic on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure, or what we call the UDA. This topic, the topic should take you about 30 minutes or so to complete. Next, in activity 3, you'll book yourself into a conference on the UDA. This will be your chance to interact, to exchange ideas, and to learn from your peers from around the world about how the SDGs manifest in your own lives and your own communities. A video conference will take about 60 minutes to complete. Finally, activity 4 is what happens at the end of the week. This is when you submit a reflection on your learning experience by logging back into the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure and completing the pop-up survey. This should take you about 15 minutes or so to complete. So in total, looking at all of these activities together, you can expect to work about 2.5 hours per week, depending on how much time you want to spend on the various activities, of course. Every Saturday before your topic week, you'll be receiving an email from us with your SDG briefing and infographic, as well as instructions for completing your Ultimate Dialogue Adventure topic and booking your video conference. Sometimes emails from us do end up in a spam or promotions folder in your email or in your inbox. So please make sure to check those just to double check that you haven't sort of missed an email from us because of that reason. Okay, so now that we have had that overview, we're going to walk you through each of these activities on the subsequent slides. But again, I just want to emphasize this presentation is packed with a lot of information. So if you feel like you aren't remembering everything I'm saying, no panic, as all information will be shared with you as well after this session. But here we go. So SDG Dialogue Series weekly activities. Now, the first activity, as I previously mentioned, is for you to read the SDG briefing and infographic. These will contain introductory information about the Sustainable Development Goals and the challenge it addresses. There may also be a short video for you to watch. The second activity is for you to complete the topic that relates to your topic on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure. As a reminder, the UDA is our website for students and is an interactive platform to learn the skills of dialogue and to participate in forums focused on global topics and issues. The Saturday email mentioned before will contain the SDG briefing and information about which topic on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure you need to be completing. Please note that you should have completed the Learning Dojo introductory topic on your Ultimate Dialogue Adventure site by the 1st of July, so by this Friday. You'll only be allowed to access the topic if the Learning Dojo has been completed. So this is something to keep in mind. So here you can see a summary of which Ultimate Dialogue Adventure topics you'll complete, depending on which SDG topics you have chosen. Remember that you can choose to do the topics you want to cover, and you do not need to do all the topics. That having been said, you're definitely welcome to do more than one topic. So it's all up to you how you want this experience with the SDG Dialogue Series to be. So as an example, say you wanted to focus on SDG 3, on good health and well-being. The UDA topic you would complete is health and well-being. So as you can see, each topic is matched with a relevant UDA topic. Now, before we look at how to get started in the platform, I thought we could just do a quick check to see what you have done so far on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure to prepare for the SDG series. So select the option that applies to you. The question I'm asking here is, what have you done so far to prepare for the SDG Dialogue Series? Okay, now I can see here that the responses are coming in, and it's great to see that many of you have completed the Learning Dojo. That's excellent, as that is one of the necessary steps you need to complete. I can also see here that some of you have registered but still need to complete the Learning Dojo. No panic at all, as that is, you still have time to do that. So take your time and just do that before the SDG Dialogue Series begin. I'm happy to see that none of you have said that you don't know what the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure is, so that's a good sign. And yeah, as I said, it's great to see that so many of you have already completed the Learning Dojo. So after that little check-in, now I'm going to sort of go over some information on how you complete your topic. So to quickly demonstrate how completing your topic works, this is essentially what your dashboard will look like once you have an account on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure. So you will see a list of all the different topics available, and you can then click Start Now to begin your topic. As you can see here on the button, Start Now. After you completed the topic, you'll then unlock what we call the dialogue space. So to enter the dialogue space, well, you then simply click on View Dialogue Space. So you'll have a button like this appearing, and you simply click the blue button. Once you're in the dialogue space, you can begin a new dialogue on that topic, or react to what someone else has already written. To begin a new dialogue, you click on Create a Dialogue. So always look for these sort of blue buttons that you can simply click through. Now, here you can see the different possible ways of reacting to someone else's post. Each time you either react to what a peer has said or create a new dialogue, you receive points, which we refer to as XPs. It's important to remember that you must gain 30 points or XPs in order to complete a topic and thereby unlock the ability to book a video conference. So as you can see here on the image in front of you, you can reflect, you can ask questions, you can challenge, or you can share. These are all different ways of reacting to what peers are saying and interacting in the dialogue space. So before we look at how to get started in the platform, I thought we could just do yet another check-in to see what you have done so far in the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure to prepare for the SDG series. So the question I'm going to ask now with this poll is, what do you need to do after you have read the SDG briefing? And the two options to choose from here is complete the topic on the UDA and write in the topics dialogue space, or go for a walk. Now, yeah, good. I can see here the responses coming in that you all clearly know what to do. That having been said, with a lot of information, it can also be good to go for a walk. But yes, you do indeed complete the topic on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure and write in the topics dialogue space. Great. So it looks like so far things are clear. So let's continue on. Now, I also thought that we could do perhaps another little check-in question, though. So now the question I'd like to ask you is, how many points do you need in the dialogue space to unlock the video conferences? Oh, great. I can see now you're all being sort of very quick with responding, and you are indeed right. You need 30 XP. Don't worry, we do not request that you need to get 1 billion XP. That would be perhaps a bit unreasonable of us to demand. So yes, 30 XP is the correct answer. And just as a reminder, you gain these XPs by interacting with each other, by reacting what each other are saying, and contributing to the online dialogue space. So once you have completed your topic on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure, the third activity for you to complete is to participate in a video conference with young people around the world. Important to note here is that you can pick any video conference session based on your availability during that week. So some of you may be coming home from school, some of you may prefer to participate in a conference in the evenings or the mornings, and that's up to you. You pick the slot that works for you. After you've booked the video conference, you'll see the agenda, which will help you to prepare for each session. Also, to help prepare, think about what you would like to discuss with young people around the world on this topic. It would be fantastic if you were prepared to, for example, share a personal experience on how the given issue appears in your own lives. How does it impact your life, your family, or your community? For example, if you're discussing climate change, perhaps you can reflect on how you are feeling that climate change impacts your life or your family. Sharing individual experiences like this is what enhances a meaningful dialogue and allows us to really learn and build on each other's experiences. As a reminder, all video conferences last for about 60 minutes. And the conferences take place between Tuesday and Friday each week. Now, to show what it looks like on the site, this is a screenshot of how to book a video conference. As a reminder, you arrive on this page by logging into the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure and clicking on the My Dashboard link at the top right-hand side of the page. Here's what your dashboard will look like once you have unlocked the ability to book a video conference. So you simply click on the button on the right here in front of you, which says Book Video Conference. Once you click on that button, you will see all the different video conferences available to you like this. And as a reminder, you choose a time slot that's most convenient for you by booking that place. So just to remind you again, you will need to book yourself into your video conference through this page on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure. And it is very important that you choose the correct time zone for where you live on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure site. Otherwise, the time slots, the times that appear for them simply won't be correct for you. So if you're unsure whether you've selected the correct time zone for your country or where you are, you can check this by logging into your account and clicking on My Profile. Then click on View Profile, and you'll check if all your details are correct. You can, for example, check which time zone you are connected to, where it says, please select your time zone. If you realize that you're not in the correct time zone, then please simply change your time zone by clicking Update My Details and then choose the correct time zone. Again, I realize that this is a lot of information I'm sharing with you right now. So if you have any questions, simply wait for us to send this information to you or send us an email and ask for our help. But as you can see in front of you here, this is essentially how it looks when you're asked to book a time slot. So you pick whichever time slot works for you. Now, the last activity for you will be to submit your reflection on your learning and experience for the week. An email with a reminder to complete the reflection form on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure will be emailed after every video conferences you have attended. So submitting the reflection form indicates that you have completed the SDG topic for that week. If you have signed up for many different topics, the same process will be repeated each week. So if you're participating in both week 1 and 2, for example, you'll be completing a reflection for week 1 and 2. Wait for an email from us with a subject that says video conference reflections. Click on the button at the end to log into the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure. Then a pop-up should prompt you to submit a written reflection on what you have learned and your video conference experience. One thing I really want to highlight here is that you will not be able to participate in next week's activities unless you have submitted your reflection for the week that has just been. So it is really important that you remember to complete the reflections and look out for this reflection email from us. So I thought now that we've gone through all of that information, it's perhaps time for a quick quiz. We have talked about a lot of information today, and so it might feel like there's a lot to remember. We do have some tips to help you, but let's just have this quick quiz as a quick reminder. So please, as you can see here on the poll in front of you, respond to the following question. What do you need to do after you have completed your video conference? Okay, now I'm very happy to see here as the responses are coming in that many of you are indeed aware that you need to submit your reflections. I do, however, agree that it's important to eat and stay sort of, well-fed and active during the SDG Dialogue series. So you should also be eating your favorite foods perhaps, but yes, you do also need to be submitting your reflections. It is very important if you want to participate in the coming week's activities. Okay, moving on. Now, if you have completed any of the topics, you will be receiving a certificate from us, which will recognize the topics you've completed and recognize the skills that you have been applying as you have been participating in the SDG Dialogue series. If you complete all 4 topics, then you will receive a special certificate as well as an additional golden badge or digital golden badge. Please note that no matter how many topics you complete, all the certificates won't be sent to you, however, until the series is finished. So if you participated in week 1, you'll have to wait until the end of the SDG Dialogue series to receive your certificate. Now, certificates should be sent out to you in August, and we should have sent out them all to you by August 22nd. So please be patient with us and don't contact us about receiving your certificate until that date. So just to repeat, if you, for example, only participate in week 1 of the SDG Dialogue series, you still will not receive a certificate from us until August 22nd at the latest, or in the month of August. So be patient and wait for your certificate from us to arrive. Now, finally, this is a very important part. If you have any questions for your safety or well-being for any reasons at any time during the series, then please do go onto the page of the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure. And at the bottom, you'll find a link to our safeguarding space. Here you can find information or you can report about any safeguarding issue you feel has arisen. In just a moment, we'll quickly show you our safeguarding video to make sure you know the key information about how to deal with safeguarding concerns or issues. Finally, if you have any concern for your safety or well-being for any reason, anytime during the series, then log on to the space, like I said, and simply go to our safeguarding space. But now I think we can view the video together, and let me know if you have any questions afterwards.
At Generation Global, young people are at the center of what we do. Over the last 10 years, we've worked with over 500,000 students in more than 30 countries around the world to connect, build skills of dialogue and global citizenship. Dialogue cannot happen without ensuring the safety of its participants. We structure every element of our program to ensure you can participate safely, openly, and honestly. Safeguarding is the action that is taken to promote the welfare of children and protect them from harm. Protecting children from harm is everyone's responsibility. Abuse can come in many forms: physical, sexual, psychological, or emotional, and can come from anyone, including adults, teachers, parents, or other children and teenagers. While it is impossible to eliminate risk completely, every person who comes into contact with Generation Global is responsible for making our dialogue space safe and empowering for all young people. First, your privacy is very important to us. We collect details about who you are during registration. We inform your parents or legal guardian when you sign up. This information is never shared outside of our website. Second, we use trained moderators and facilitators to support you in developing your dialogue skills. All the adults who work with our program must pass a rigorous safeguarding training program and background checks before joining our team. Third, we have a clear reporting system, so if you ever have any concern or something you need to talk about related to Generation Global's website or work that either you experience or witness, please email us at safeguarding@institute.global. All of our safeguard policies and procedures are outlined clearly on our website in an area called Safeguarding Space. Lastly, our goal at Generation Global is to equip young people with the skills, knowledge, and attitudes to become active global citizens. Knowing your rights and responsibilities, both online and offline, and having the confidence and skills to demand them are important parts of your development. To help with this, we provide resources on important topics such as human rights and hate speech to help you understand and play your part in protecting yourself and your peers around the world.
Okay, so that was our safeguarding video. And again, I want to emphasize, if you have any questions about it, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Your safeguarding or keeping you safe is our primary responsibility, and we take it very seriously. Okay, so that was that for me. Again, I realize that I packed you with lots and lots of information. So if you have any questions, absolutely feel free to ask them now, or email us, or wait for us to send this presentation to you so you can revise everything that's been said. But yes, as of now, if any of you have any questions, please don't hesitate to simply state them here, and we can respond to them together. So here I see, for example, one question: I wasn't able to log in yesterday, so I logged in today. Is it all right? Yeah, I'm sorry to see that you experienced some problems logging in yesterday, but if you have been able to log in today, that's great. And if you face any more challenges, then please just let us know and we'll help you with that. So if anyone else has any questions, please simply pop them here in the question and answer box and we'll be able to answer them. Okay, so here we have another question from a participant. Is the activity done every day or just in a particular day? And what time does it start from? So you have a lot of freedom with when you do the various activities, as long as you, as we said, complete the activities on the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure. You do that in your own time, and then you book in a video conference whenever works for you. So you pick the time slot that works for you. So yes, when it comes to any particular day or any particular time, it's really about, you fitting this into your schedule when it works and choosing the video conference that works for you. Are we able to complete a topic in a day? Well, if you completing a topic in a day. Well, yes, if you would like to complete a topic all in one go, then that's absolutely fine for you. And then, like I said, you book yourself into the relevant video conference. So you do have a lot of freedom when it comes to how and when you complete all the different components to your experience with the Ultimate Dialogue Adventure. Okay, so I'm looking here. How do we find other people for a VC? Well, this is a good question. How do we find other people for a VC? Well, you will simply all be able to log into the video conferences. And because you all are given the same sort of schedule, you'll all have the ability to book into the same VCs. So that's how it works, essentially. So hopefully, you'll see that a student from India has booked into a conference, and then a student from Indonesia is shown the same schedule. And if the time works for them, they'll book themselves into that video conference. So that's essentially how you all come together in different video conferences, because you're all given the same options to choose from when it comes to your video conference. Okay, here I see a question from someone saying that their sister has registered but has not received any emails yet. Well, we do send out the emails, orientation emails like the one for today, and registration emails on a regular basis. So if someone hasn't received an email yet, I would first off say, please check your spam and promotion folders in your inbox, because a lot of our emails end up in there. So for the person who asked that question, or for anyone else who feel like they haven't got an email from us yet, check your spam and promotion folders first. And if not, you should be expecting emails from us soon. And if you still feel like you haven't received an email from us about something you should be, then you can reach out to us via the help desk, and we'll be able to supply you with any information you feel like you're missing. In video conference, what will be the language for interaction? Well, the language of interaction will be English. And I do recognize here that, for a lot of us, myself included, English is not my first language. And so it can be difficult, but we are all, supporting each other, where this is about creating a safe space where we all do our very best to interact and share ideas with each other. So don't be afraid if English isn't your first language, or if it's sometimes difficult to express yourself. This is essentially a learning experience for everyone, and we want to really emphasize that. So yes, it is English we will be conversing in, but please don't let that hold you back or make you feel like you don't have the confidence to speak. We're all learning from each other, and we all come from different parts of the world. Here comes a question where someone asks, what happens in a video conference and how are we to prepare for it? Well, and is there a moderator or a teacher in the VC? This is a very good question. So I guess I can just provide a very brief overview of what happens in a VC. So as I said, in sort of this presentation, you will be asked to prepare for a VC by given first you'll complete the activities for a topic. So you'll be given a chance to learn about it. You'll also be given guiding questions ahead of a VC to think about, sort of as discussion prompts for a VC. Then once you log into the video conference, a facilitator, such as myself, will be in the call and will not direct the nature of the conversation anyway, but rather facilitate an inclusive conversation for all of you to interact with each other and share your thoughts and your ideas on the topics. So essentially, what happens in the VC is a dialogue where you reflect about each other's personal experiences and views and ideas, and together sort of reflect on the SDGs that you have chosen. But if you, in terms of specifically preparing, one helpful thing I find is using the guiding questions that are shared with you beforehand. So you sort of have an idea about, what kind of reflection you'd perhaps like to share with the group. So here we see, so I can see some of you have some struggles right now with unlocking various modules or topics linked to the SDGs. For example, you may get messages that you need to complete more topics in order to unlock the SDG. And for those of you having those kind of issues, I'd perhaps encourage you to, first off, review the information that I've just gone through with you here. So when we send out this PowerPoint, then please sort of look through what I've said, and maybe that will give you some guidance in terms of what step you need to do in order to unlock the portal. And if you still, after reviewing that information, face some questions, then please don't hesitate to reach out to me and simply, and we will help you with the various issues you have. But as a first step, review all the information that I've shared with you during this orientation session. Okay. Yeah, and like I said here, some more questions are coming up right now with sort of people having some problems with booking video conferences or unlocking various modules. And to deal with that, review the information I've just shared with you. And if you still face difficulties, do not hesitate to reach out, and we'll help you on an individual basis with your specific problem. Okay, well, here we have some more. Do we need to complete certain topics before the SDG dialogue? Well, yes. So like I've sort of been overviewing in this presentation, you will need to complete relevant activities and topics in order to participate in the video conference for the topics you have chosen. So if you're interested in a particular SDG for a particular week, you will need to complete the relevant topic for that SDG. Now, for the attendee who asked this question, if you review the information I've just shared with you in this presentation, I'm sure you'll find helpful guidance in terms of what you need to complete in order to participate in the video conference. And here, oh yes, another attendee has asked, if we picked event 1, can we pick another event? I assume here you might be talking about if you picked week 1 or SDG Dialogue Series topic 1, can you pick another one? And yes, that is absolutely able. You can participate in as many weeks and aspects of the video conference or of the SDG Dialogue Series as you wish. So that's completely up to you to tailor your own experience. All right, so I think right now that was all the questions that have been posted. I guess I'll do a last minute check through. Does anyone else have any last question they'd like to ask? Please go ahead and do so now. If not, then as I've said multiple times now, if you need any more information, this presentation will be shared with you, so simply refer to that. If any new questions come up after you finish this session, then please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we will help you on an individual basis with your various questions. One last question perhaps. Do we need to learn the topic that I'll talk about in the dialogue? Yes, you do need to complete the relevant activities relating to the dialogue or the topic you book in for a dialogue. Again, that information is available to you in this presentation. With that question, I think I will wrap up for today. But yeah, once again, I'm always here. I'm the Generation Global Program Coordinator. So I'm always available and email away if you have any question for me and you'd like to sort of, no question is stupid, no question is ridiculous. Ask anything you need in order to make your experience during the SDG Dialogue Series as fruitful as possible. But yeah, okay, thank you so much. I guess it is time for me to close this session and say goodbye. Thank you so much all for joining, and I look very, very much forward to seeing you in the SDG Dialogue Series. As a final note, here you can find sort of the way to contact us. So either email us with the help desk at generation.global or visit our support platform. You can find several articles there related to frequently asked questions about the series, so they can also be helpful. And yes, I can see now you're all starting to drop off, which is great as this session is over. But as a final reminder, check your promotions folder if you don't get an email from us, because that's sometimes where emails from us end up. Okay,